On to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. I'm on to a player ratings video for Brentford 1, Everton 1. Everton, of course, share the points in Brentford. An away draw, not a terrible result, but disappointing considering we led until about the 83rd minute and conceded a very soft goal. But even then, the point was very, very lucky for us. I think we really rode our luck today. We wouldn't have deserved the win. We just about deserved the draw. So, it was a very up and down performance, and that'll probably be reflected in these ratings that I'm going to reel off here. Of course, Jordan Pickford in goal. I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. Actually, I might give him an 8, to be honest, because he made a couple of really good saves. Was generally solid. Couldn't have done nothing about the goal where it was literally left one-on-one. Bit of tap in. There was nothing he could have done about that. Some good saves. Generally solid. Dealt with some awkward moments quite well because the defenders didn't really help him out at times. The poor communication at times, I think, today. But yeah, 8 out of 10 I'll give Jordan Pickford. It was a really solid performance, and were it not for him, we might have lost and probably lost by a fair few as well. So, fair play to Jordan Pickford. The defenders in front of him a bit more of a mixed bag. Mason Hallgate went off injured, and he pretty much injured himself by dallying on the ball on the edge of the box and having to, make a shank clearance that led to him injuring his knee, I think. And, it's another injury we didn't need in defence. Mason Hallgate was generally quite shaky in this game. I think he was making a few little misjudgments. He was miscommunicating with the defenders at times. There was times where Pickford had to bail him out. There was a time where he actually leathered a really powerful back pass at Pickford's chest, which landed in a bit of hot water. So it was a pretty poor performance. I'll give Mason Hallgate a 4 out of 10. I think it was a really shaky display. Conor Cody, I'm going to give a 6 out of 10. It's probably been a 4 or a 5 for the defensive qualities because he was a bit shaky as well at the back. But of course, he did play a really nice diagonal ball over the top to set up Anthony Gordon's goal, which, has got us a point that we didn't really deserve. But yeah, his defensive contribution wasn't great. It probably would have been about a 5 were it not for his assist, his first ever assist, I think, in the Premier League. I think the statisticians are saying so. I'll give him a 6 out of 10 for that. Tarkowski, again, a 6 out of 10. Not his best performance so far since coming to Everton. He's generally been very solid. He looked a little bit off the boil today. He wasn't quite right, but he was the best of the defenders. I think he was the most solid of the three of them, as he probably always is. He's probably the most reliable defender we've got, and fingers crossed he can stay fit because the defenders are dropping like flies. Like I say, he was still pretty solid. I mean, the 6 might be actually quite harsh, but there was times where he was a little bit not quite himself, but he was the best of the defenders, that's for sure. The backs, Vitali Mikalenko, another 6. Not an amazing, nothing poor. He was pretty solid. Always tries to get forward. A couple of good tackles, but nothing outstanding. Nathan Patterson, again, so many mixed bag performances today, and another 6 out of 10 here for Nathan Patterson. I think he showed some moments of really good as usual brilliance going forward, as dynamic movement, but then some shaky moments at the back. He misjudged the header, and which I think that was what led to Ivan Toney hitting the post, and then the rebound being skied over. So it was almost quite a costly error as well. So Patterson, almost what we've come to expect from him so far. Great going forward, not so great at the back. So 6 out of 10 for Patterson. Midfielders, Alex Iwobi, 7 out of 10. I'd have probably given him an 8 with it not for his error at the back. I think he was really solid in the midfield, as he has been so often. Maybe not quite at his usual level, but still pretty decent. But I couldn't give him more than a 7 because he did switch off from that corner and cost us a goal, as did many of his teammates as well. But really caught ball watching there. That was poor defending, but his general contribution in the midfield was good again. Yeah, keeps us ticking over quite well. He's quite strong. Yeah, it was a decent performance generally. But I think Amadou Onana, I should say, the new signing, put in a really good performance, far better than his performance against Nottingham Forest. I said he wasn't great in my reaction to the Forest game. He was a lot better today, and I'm going to give Onana an 8 out of 10. I think it was a much improved performance on his debut against Forest. But you know, he was really strong. He drove us forward at times. He was calm on the ball, and he played a really nice through ball for Damari Gray for that chance that Damari Gray really should have taken to make it 2-0. And we'd probably really ruined that opportunity that we missed there to make it 2-0. But that was all down to Onana driving forward through the midfield and playing a nice through ball. So yeah, Onana was probably my man of the match. He went off with about 15 minutes left for Tom Davidson. Obviously he's been eased in, so we don't want to burn him out. But I'd like to have seen him stay on for a little longer because he was the best performer I think today. Ahead of him, Dwight Mcneal, 6.5, let's say. He was good. He knocked the ball around well. Good, really good technical ability. Pinged some good passes. Beyond that, he's a bit frustrating. I think the fact that he just has no right foot, he has to turn back a lot to move the ball onto his left foot, and it just sort of kills our momentum a little bit. And that's going to be a real pet hate of mine, I think, with Dwight McNeil, even though he's a very technically gifted player. His inability to use his right foot's going to cost us at times and really slow our game down. But his passing was good. Better performance than I think I've seen from him in recent weeks of the Forest game or even Fleetwood game. I think he was better than that, but still not fantastic. I'll give him a 6.5 out of 10. Anthony Gordon, I'll give an 8 out of 10. Really well taken goal. Generally threw his weight around, as we've got quite used to with Anthony Gordon. He's a real hard worker, and if he does leave, we'll miss that. And a much better end product from him today as well. A really well taken goal, probably the best goal he's scored as an Everton player so far. So it was a really impressive performance from Gordon. His enthusiasm, he played a full 90, I think, as well, and really got about the pitch, and it was an impressive performance. And like I say, but for Onana, really impressing me. I think he could have been the man of the match, and obviously got the goal. So maybe he should have shaded it, but I'm going to go with Onana. I think he was the one who impressed me the most. But Gordon gets an 8 as well. And then Damari Gray, the final starter, 6 out of 10. Carries the ball well. He runs down some blind alleys. 6 might be a little bit generous actually, because he was quite. He does lose the ball a fair bit and spawn that really good chance in front of goal to make it 2-0. Our only other clear cut chance of the game, and he's turned back and tried to do a couple of little checks on the player when he could have just shot 1-on-1. And we'll ruin that one. So I think Damari Gray, it's a generous 6 out of 10. There was no genuinely terrible performance today, but there was no really inspiring display. I think Gordon and Onana were the two outstanding performers. The others were generally average, nothing better, nothing much worse. The substitute, Michael Keane, was sent on for Hallgate, who, like I say, got injured by playing poorly, basically, and forced himself to stretch and injure his knee. So, speedy recovery to Mason Hallgate, because we need some defenders back pretty quickly. Michael Keane didn't fill me with the utmost confidence, but he wasn't terrible. I think he might have been one of the others who fell asleep for the goal, but it wasn't entirely his fault. I think he didn't do anything great. He didn't do anything terrible either. There's another 6 out of 10, really. And the same could be said for pretty much everybody who came on. Tom Davis didn't really do a lot in the midfield. Another 5 or a 6 maybe. Same with Vinagre. He come on and was actually he tried to drive us forward a little bit. So not to deserve more than a 6 again, but certainly not unless. He was one of the better substitutions. I think he to try and drive us forward and won a couple of free kicks. And then Salomon Rondon didn't really get much chance to do anything. Not that he does a lot anyway, but didn't get a chance to impress or horrify us either. So again, another 6 out of 10. There's again, it was very middle of the road. It was a very average performance. We were a very average team at the moment. Let's be quite fully honest. And I think a 6 might be a bit generous at times to some of these players, but it wasn't a disastrous performance, but it certainly wasn't inspiring either. So I think 6 out of 10s, like across the board, were pretty well merited. I think Pickford was good in goal, probably deserved a bit more than that. And then, like I say, Gordon and Onana being the two outstanding outfielders. So Amadou Onana gets my man of the match. I think he was really impressive today. Um, but beyond that, not an amazing performance, and we'll hope for better against Leeds, and with hopefully some more personnel in the door to maybe improve our performance levels a bit more. But for now, there's my ratings for Brentford 1, Everton 1. Let us know your opinions. Drop us a comment. Give us your ratings out of 10 for all the players as well. Yeah, get those comments in. Give the video a like and subscribe for more content. Until next time, guys, thank you for watching on the Toffee Blues.